So yeah, I've been pretty neutral on the fact that Paramount has taken over the Ninja Turtles franchise. Yeah, I've been pretty neutral on the fact that Skydance has taken over Paramount. There's been no major, like, significant changes they've made since taking over, aside from firing Stephen Colbert, that I'm really on the fence about. I think it's shitty that they're firing him for political purposes, but at the same time, Colbert has never really been as good as Letterman, or even like Colbert when he used to do the Stephen Colbert Report. So, I mean, like, yeah, I've got like no like real opinion on that, I guess. Just that if political powers are trying to cancel shows, that's no good for anyone. Anyway, besides that, so let's talk about the state of the Ninja Turtles franchise, because that's been like an ongoing like drama point this week, and I feel like I care about that.
この番組はヨランのスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
Alright, so first things first, back in the 90s, there were really cool live-action Ninja Turtles movies. I liked the first two. The third one was a letdown because they cheaped it out and they just like filmed in Hong Kong and whatever, and it was like, oh no, they went back in time and there was a guy wearing panties the whole movie. Anyway, recently, because the franchise has been floundering, we've gotten the Seth Rogan Ninja Turtles, which I'm very, very mixed on. Quite frankly, I didn't like the Mayhem movie, but I thought the cartoon that came out afterwards was pretty much in line with what I expect from the Turtles and was good. So then, going back to the live-action movies, there hasn't been a live-action movie since the Michael Bay movies, and the big news was that they were going to make a Last Ronin movie that would be a sequel to the 1990s Ninja Turtle movie, but covering the story of the Last Ronin, which is Eastman and Laird's canonical ending to how they wanted the Ninja Turtles to end. Like, it's basically like the Dark Knight Returns to the Ninja Turtles, but it's cooler than the Dark Knight Returns because it was actually written by the guys who starred the original story. If you're not familiar with it, it is a very, very dark story about how the Ninja Turtles die, and it's pretty grim and gritty, but they were really planning to make a movie that would have been a sequel to the original 1980s live-action film that would have been the Last Ronin story. They were even in talks to bring back the actress who played April in that one, and apparently the guy who directed Nobody was going to direct it. I think Nobody has amazing action scenes, so that would have been freaking sick. Oh, I should also mention, before I forget, The Last Ronin was also going to be turned into a sick-ass PS5 video game adaptation, which was what I was really looking forward to. I think I actually will have enjoyed the video game more than either the movie or the comic. I guess I need to like go back and buy the comic now that this has all gone down to like show support for it. But anyway, yeah, the video game is also canceled. I'm like not 100% that the video game is canceled, but the video game seems to be canceled just on the fact that they're freezing all Last Ronin related projects. And the video game was being made by THQ Nordic, which, as far as I know, went out of business in August. So if the video game's not canceled and the people who made it are out of business, that puts it in a really peculiar spot where someone else would have to pick it up and carry the baton. And I just don't see that happening. I think THQ Nordic basically killed the game, and now that's done. So that sucks. But yeah, Paramount announced this week that under Skydance, they're completely like repivoting their franchises and trying to like get their ducks in order. So that seems like there's going to be a major reboot of the TMNT brand. So basically my analysis of everything going on is the Mutant Mayhem, the Seth Rogen Turtles, they're basically canceled, which kind of sucks because I was enjoying the cartoons, and there is a second movie coming out about these guys. There was also a short film that just came out attached to another movie that I didn't see, but that looked interesting. This is a weird situation with the Seth Rogen Turtles because like I feel like usually when a movie gets like a cartoon spinoff, the spinoff is worse. But in this case, because the movie was so bad, the spinoff is better. But yeah, so I'm anticipating the second season of the cartoon, which is now canceled, and then I'm expecting the second movie to come out. And then I'm expecting this franchise to also be shuttered because I'm pretty sure Paramount just wholesale shuttered the Seth Rogen version to reboot the franchise. But they're not saying that part out loud because the second season is still on its way. and the second movie is still on its way, and they don't want to kill the momentum with that. So even though they've like made the decision to stop doing these today, that second season and that second movie are still going to come out and just kind of like keep everyone pacified. Now, then after that, the big breaking news is that they're going to make a new live action Turtles reboot, the first one since the Michael Bay movies, which is complicated. I don't know. It sounds like the plan right now is they're going to make it very tonally similar to the 90s Turtles. I don't know if they mean the 90s Turtles movie or the 90s Turtle cartoon, but I'm just guessing that it will look like the 1990s Turtle movie, except done in CGI instead of guys in suits made by Jim Henson. So that could be all right. The Turtles rebooting under Paramount kind of sucks. Anyway, I guess that's about all I have to say about that. Actually, hold on. Let me check out some of the Hollywood Reporter news because that has like more details. Yeah, actually, okay, one thing the article comments on that is interesting is that they're going to give it to the producer who has been running the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. And he apparently wants to Sonicify the franchise, whatever that means. I guess probably they're going to make it more kid-friendly in terms of the Turtles being CGI and the Turtles being like approachable enough that kids like them. I think that is kind of like the tricky middle ground that they've been trying to find with the Turtles, because like when they did the Michael Bay versions, like kids didn't like them. They were like too like old and offensive looking. And on the flip side, I would argue that like the Seth Rogan versions we've gotten recently have the opposite problem. They're like too kiddie. They're like preteen Ninja Turtles in like a way I don't appreciate. So yeah, I guess they're just trying to get back to like what worked. And I mean, I think people know what worked. Like people have always like flocked back to the Turtles of the 90s and 80s, and like it needs to be like similar in tone to that. I do think the 2012 version struck the right tone, but a lot of people just didn't like that one because it was CGI, but it still ran for like 5 seasons, so that was good. Then most recently there was like, before the Seth Rogen version, there was Rise of the Ninja Turtles. That one was also controversial. It was kind of anime, but not done right, and it had too many like carryover concepts from the Michael Bay movies that alienated people again. So yeah, I don't know. All right, tell me what you guys think. Are you bummed that The Last Ronin's not coming out? Are you excited that there is a new Ninja Turtles reboot coming out that is apparently going to be more like Sonic? Do you care at all about the Seth Rogen version? Leave me one in the comments. I gotta go. I'm leaving town for Thanksgiving. Night, everybody.